Hi everyone, I'm Philip Galinsky of Samba New York. Why am I talking and playing so quietly in this video? That's because one of the subscribers to our channel asked me to make a video about playing samba quietly. Okay, well, so in this video I've decided I'm going to share some tips with you on how you could play samba quietly. Let's say that you're playing at home and you don't want to disturb the people in your home. Let's say it's late at night and they're sleeping. Let's say you don't want to bother the neighbors. Well, I'm going to share some tips with you here on how you can play samba quietly, some of the instruments you might use, and some of the patterns that you could use. Let's start with none other than the matchbox, or caixa de fósforos in Portuguese. This is, of course, a stylized matchbox. It's not an actual matchbox, but the matchbox, or versions of it, are actually a traditional samba instrument. And there are different ways of playing it, but I like to play the teleco-teco rhythm on the matchbox. Okay, so I'm going to secure the matchbox in my left hand, and I'm going to play the teleco-teco, which, if you don't know what that is, that's the name that they give in Rio de Janeiro for the samba timeline, which is a guide rhythm that comes from the Congo-Angola region of Africa. It's kind of like the glue that holds all the other rhythms together in the samba, all right? So there are different ways of playing teleco-teco. In fact, I've taught 4 different versions of it here on the channel. You can check out the video 4 teleco-tecos. You can also check out the video 2 basic patterns for samba on the tambourine, one of which is the teleco-teco. And the version of the teleco-teco that I like to teach first is this one. I love samba, yes, I love samba. I love samba, yes, I love samba. Okay? Now, I'm starting it on beat 3 because in most traditional samba, anyway, that's beat 3 of the phrase. That's the middle of the phrase. Beat 1 of the phrase is 1, I love samba, yes. Okay? So we're going to just start on beat 3 for now. We're going to play all the notes of the teleco-teco with our middle finger here in our right hand. I love samba, yes, I love samba. And I'll play all the other subdivisions with my index finger, but more quietly. So it's going to be like this. I love samba, yes, I love samba. I love samba, yes, I love samba. Okay? Now, what if we want to start on beat 1? We could go 1 and 2 and the first time only, and then jump right into the teleco-teco pattern starting on beat 3. So we have 1 and 2 and I love samba, yes, I love samba, I love samba. Okay? So let's do that again, a little faster. 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and I love samba, yes, I love samba, I love samba. Okay? Another thing we can do is we can add a little ornamentation. Every time we come up to the word samba, we can, instead of playing samba, we can go da-da-da. We can go middle, index, middle. So that gives us 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and I love samba. Yes, I love samba. I love samba. Yes, I love samba. I love samba. Yes, I love samba. I love samba. Yes. Okay? And we can play variations, okay? So that's just an example of one of the things you can do with the matchbox or caixa de fósforos, okay? We can take the same timeline pattern, the same teleco-teco, and we can play it on the actual tambourine, which is probably most often where the teleco-teco pattern is played in samba, and at least of the different percussion instruments. The cavaquinho also tends to play the teleco-teco pattern or variations of it. And here we go. So if we want to play samba quietly on the tambourine, instead of playing it with a wooden stick, which would be like this, or 1 and 2 and I love samba, yes, I love samba, I love samba. Instead of doing that, we can play it even more quietly with just our index finger like this. Okay, so I'm playing all the other subdivisions with my second and third finger here on the back of the tambourine, and I'm just striking the edge of the tambourine here with my index finger. So here we go, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, and I love samba. Yes, I love samba. I love samba. We can play variations too. Okay, so that's an example of playing the samba more quietly on the tambourine. Okay, now let's get to some other instruments that we can use when we're playing samba quietly. Of course, we can use the chocalho. And if you haven't yet seen the video that I posted previously here to the channel called A Basic Pattern for Samba on the Chocalho or Shaker, definitely check that out. And for that video, I used this beautiful practice chocalho by Contemporânea. And in that video, I showed this basic pattern for samba on the chocalho, which is just front, back, 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 front. All the subdivisions of the samba, okay? So this I call the subdivision level of the samba. We just heard the timeline level. This is the subdivision level, okay? So the way that the subdivision level of the samba works, in my experience, generally, is that the first subdivision of the beat is going to be loud. There are 4 subdivisions for each beat. The first one is going to be louder. The fourth one's also going to be loud, but not as loud as the first. And the second and third will be quieter. So we have loud, soft, soft, loud, loud, soft, soft, loud, loud, soft, soft, loud, loud, soft, soft, loud, loud. Okay, starting in the front position. Front, back, 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 front. So we can use this beautiful practice chocalho by Contemporânea for playing quietly. It has rubber jingles. It's great for that. Okay, we can also use an instrument that many of you might know, which is the oval or egg shaker. All right, so we can play the egg shaker in this, use the same pattern. I'm just going to hold it in the fingers of one hand here, start in the back position, and I'm going to go front, back, 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 front. Let me sing the timeline. Ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da. Okay, so there we have it. Some samba subdivisions played on the chocalho or the egg shaker. We can also play those samba subdivisions on the pandeiro. I recommend using an animal skin head pandeiro because it's going to be a lot quieter than the plastic head pandeiro, okay? This is a beautiful 10-inch pandeiro, animal skin head pandeiro by Contemporânea. It's the Luthier version, Luthier model. It's excellent. It's super light. It sounds amazing. So if you're not yet familiar with how to play a basic pattern for samba on the pandeiro, check out the video that I posted previously here called A Basic Pattern for Samba on the Pandeiro Condução, which means the driving rhythm. In other words, the subdivisions of the samba, like this. 3, 4, and. Okay, if we want to play even more quietly, we don't have to rotate the pandeiro. We can go. Okay, so there you have an example of how we can play quietly on the pandeiro. And to finish up this lesson, I'm going to show you how we can play samba quietly on this instrument, which is known as the Tantan de corte, the cutting tantan, or the rebolo, as it's sometimes known. Okay, so if you haven't yet seen the video that I posted previously here to the channel called A Basic Pattern for Samba on the Tantan de corte / rebolo, check that out. And the basic pattern for samba that I show in that video is 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But if we want to play more quietly, we could of course just lower the volume, go. another thing we can do is instead of playing the open tones with the open hand, we can play it with the side of the thumb, just like we do on the pandeiro, right? And we go on the pandeiro. And on the tantan, we could do the same thing. So I'm playing it with the side of my thumb, striking the head with the side of my thumb, but I'm also catching a little bit of the palm of my hand, okay? So let's play the same pattern now, but playing the open tones with the side of the thumb. 3, 4, and... We can also play variations. Okay, there you have it. Just some examples of some of the things you can do on some of these samba percussion instruments to play samba quietly. Okay, there's also a video that I posted here on the channel called 7 Typical Variations for the Tantan de Corte. Definitely check those out if you want some more ideas of some things you could play on the Tantan. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.